Hello, everyone, and both our listeners and viewers. We say thank you for always being with us and supporting us. Today with me is Doreen, and as usual, Magdalene is also here. We'll be doing a topic on home office, the strike, small kids parents, and still corona is still here, so we just want to see how to juggle in between all these, and at the same time I didn't mention being a wife as well. So the boat is already on the ocean. Someone has to balance it, so that is how we want to see how to balance it. And especially here in Europe, there's no extra help. Probably you don't have extra family members. You're alone and balancing this boat alone. So we'll have these wonderful ladies who are going to help us through and take us through their experience, both as workers, students, and wives. So we'll just see how to go about it. Before we start with the topic, I'll introduce a new face, that is Doreen. She'll tell us more about herself, and we'll kick it off like that. Thank you, Doreen.
Yeah, thank you so much, Beatrice, for inviting me to your show. It's a pleasure. My name's Doreen Kerubo Atina. I'm a mother, as Beatrice mentioned. I'm a mother of two girls, 4 years and 9 years. I'm also a wife and a full-time worker. And as well, I'm a sister and a friend to many as well. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a little bit of bad voicing, but we're just trying to maintain the technical stuff in the background, so you guys will bear with us. Doreen, you're a full-time worker and a mother at the same time of small kids. You're also a wife, and for that matter, a pastor's wife. So meaning that there are many people that are quite depending on you. At the same time, we have strike this week, just to make work a little bit more tougher. And corona is also going up. How are you balancing everything, please?
Yes, Beatrice, as you mentioned, they look so many tasks, and balancing everything is not easy in reality. But as you just have said, one of the key things that has helped me, especially this season, and of course, all the other days, even if we have been facing corona, is basically planning. And one thing that has been of great help for me is detailed planning, like having a clear plan, going to the very details, like what shall we eat for breakfast, what shall we eat for lunch, which meal shall we eat on Monday, Tuesday, the whole week, planning when shall I wash the clothes. And actually, I have like a planner app to list all the to-do list things, and trying to list what time should I work, when should I take breaks. So, and actually sticking to the plan, because that's very important. And one thing that corona times has taught me is really being watchful of the time, knowing that time is valuable. And if I don't do tasks as planned, it messes so many other things. Like I mentioned you, I'm a mother of small kids. My daughter, she's involved in activities after school. So everything has to go as planned, and that has been one of the strengths, or one of the things that I can say has been helpful, just planning. Of course, I have to say that I have a very supportive spouse who is helping me. I can't say that I'm that superwoman that can fix everything by myself, so I really get a lot of support. We sit down and plan, like, okay, I'm working early, I have meetings this time, can you fix this, can you do this, are you able to do this or this? So we try to support each other, and so that we are able to have a peaceful home, we are able to have a working home, and we are able to create an environment that is enabling for all of us. Because as you see, working from home, we are all stuck here. We don't want to make a place where you just feel stressed and you kind of are not able to be functional. And so that's briefly what has really been helpful for me as a mom trying to balance. And just one last thing is, actually, when I'm tired, I try to take time off. and And at the end of the week, I'll be so tired. I would try to take walks, or I like to go shopping, even if I'm not buying something, just going through the malls, seeing what's there. That's so refreshing for me. So I take 1 or 2 hours on a Saturday, just walk into a mall and just buy something, sit down. Yeah, that's helpful.
Okay, thank you. Another question. Now that I know for you guys, you started it pretty early, and especially for the type of job you're doing, it's not just being at home and having home office. It's really like working from home, you know. How is it working so far? Like it's been almost since February up to now. How do you see it? And now that going forward, we still don't know how things are going to be like. How is it going?
Yes, that's a good question, Beatrice. So far, I can say that my job is very demanding, as you said. So we continuously work. It's not like, okay, I'm home and trying to get time in between. So we have so many meetings, especially we are trying to work online using Teams and different online apps, of course. But so far, it's really, now I got a rhythm. In the beginning, it was kind of challenging, and I can say that there are pros and cons into working from home. One of it is actually it has saved a lot of time. I normally use 1 to 2 hours every day going and back to the house, so I can save that time and do other things. But of course, it requires high level of discipline in terms of time management. And of course, in the beginning, I could see that we didn't have a clear rhythm. That meant I would work, take breaks, and work in the night. So now we have found a rhythm when the kids went back to school, that we have to wake up at 8, make sure I start a normal work day by 4, I'm done. And if I have some extra work, I can do probably after the kids have slept. So I must say that what really has been helpful for me is really trying to be so disciplined with time, and just making sure that I plan everything that I'm supposed to do, especially the work. I look at my calendar, what are the tasks for the day, and I prioritize the most important things and try to fix my life around it. And so far, it has been so good. And we've got very good support from my employer, who always have sent us probably some clips on how to have basic things like having a good chair, ergonomics, like other things like exercises. We have actually a very good program from my employer, a 15 minutes stretch exercise, which you have to do during lunch break. So we have somebody coming online and you stretch, because most people are experiencing health issues by sitting at home long hours. So I must say that my employer particularly, has been very, very supportive and keen on ensuring that we have good mental, and there's a lot of support in case you need help or you feel stressed out. There's always people who are willing to talk to you, and if you need any help, if you feel alone or sometimes you feel depressed, there's help always coming on your way. So in that case, I think so far it has been good. But I must say that even for people working home, the whole point has been take care of yourself. Everybody's in the same boat. It's not where people are stepping and saying, oh, can we help you? This is where we are all in the same situation. So you have to take responsibility of your own health, have a good, strong mental health. Think about yourself first. Think about health. When we are being told social distancing, keep safe distance, it's for you. You have to always take care of yourself and make sure that you are okay with your family. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one because home office is pretty a new term for a lot of people. I mean, especially, okay, in Europe, probably it was something that some people were used to. In places like Africa with internet and everything, most everything goes inside the workplace, not from home. So this is pretty challenging situation. Just one more. Soon, next week, there is autumn holiday coming up. Still home office is there now that the numbers are really going up. There is strike, you know, and you have to continue working. Your kids have yeah, gonna be home and everything. What can you advise? This one, Mado also will come up, but Doreen first.
Yeah. It's actually very exciting too. I would say like one thing that I like about Norway is the planning around the calendar year. That after some time we have a break to to kind of refresh and re-energize, and that's one thing we always talk from my cultural background. I come from Kenya, and how people, it's not so easy for people to rest. Even during holidays, people are always used to working. But something that I've learned, or kind of that has challenged me, is how refreshed you come back after you've worked for a long time. And so one thing I would recommend parents, even if you're working from home, if you have some days to spare, take that time off and just be with your kids and find activities that are interesting. Find something that your kids love to do. It could be just painting, it could be simple things like cooking, baking. Just go to YouTube, find a good clip of how to bake a cake or something that kids will be so excited. Involve everybody. It could be simple things like those. Tech walks. I got a notification from the library that the libraries are open. So you can take them. There's so many materials in the libraries, videos, you can borrow things and come and watch with your kids. I think that in a way can bring a closer bond as well. Because when you're so stressed, when we don't have a plan, or when we kind of feel we have to work and work all the time, it builds up pressure on parents. And sometimes you just have to close your computer and just say, okay, now I spend this time with my family. I want to take this time to do something that is for all of us. So that's one advice I would say, of course. And another advice I would say is probably to take advantage of the local offers. Yes, there's a strike. Yes, probably you're not able to travel, but there are a lot of activities always going around us. And the other day I was listening to one program about, I think there's a group that probably organizes different activities, probably is even going out hiking in small highlands around Oslo or wherever you are living. Take advantage of those. Go Google internet, find activities that are happening around you. Be part of a group that you find exciting. That could be something, especially for most of us who are immigrants. We don't have a very good network here. So sometimes we feel like we get attracted to our own, or we feel like, oh, it's difficult to get integrated to Norwegians. But if you find activities that they are doing, you register, you can get friends and you can get new networks, and you can enjoy this holiday. So one thing I would just mention is that we are in difficult times. Let's try to manage the situations around us. And because as you know, when when things are tough, everybody's stressed. So you have to really manage your emotions as a parent, manage the emotions of kids by trying to create environments around your home that will create a positive environment for your family. Because you are staying together in the same place, create an environment that is good for all of you so that you can pull through this season. And one quote I like to say is that you don't have to win every battle as a person. So like you might start arguing, things might go up, but try to breathe in and say, okay, I can be the bigger one in this. I can lose this one for the sake of everybody. So those are some of the advices I could give, especially for people that might not be able to travel because of the strike or because of working from home. Just find what works for you and adopt that. Yeah.
Thank you. Mado, the ball is on your court.
Yeah, thank you very much, Beatrice. Once again, for this interesting topic which we have here. Advice to parents. I, as a parent, I think the advice should be based on the planning, as Doreen said, and the planning should be realistic so that it should not be boring. I'll still emphasize on that. And we should avoid monotony, because when something is being done over and over and over, even you yourself, you become bored with it, especially the kids. We should be watchful. Try to look activities like what Doreen said, activities which are catchy. I'm working recently in a school, and I saw on their notice board, they wrote it there that even though there will be host fair, but they still have activities in the gymnasium. So those are the things. So they put the period from this period to this period, from this day to this day. Why? Because it's not all the days, some days, because you also have your own personal activities which you can intersect with those kind of plans, and then you just enjoy the holiday, and then you enjoy the time that as if it is not even corona. You enjoy the time as if no strike was even, or it has happened. We thank God, even there is Teban, which is moving. All these days, it is another sport to me. It's another sport with the strike. Because if I don't used to walk some distance before going to work, I just take every little 2 minutes, I just pick up a bus and bus Teban and what before my workplace. But now it has given an opportunity which my heart is now pumping, which is like you are doing exercise. It helps. And if we want to realize this strike, it will be as if there wasn't any strike. It will be as if there is no red zone, that because now when they say no way it's on the red zone with corona, it gives fright to people around. It generates fear. So to kick away that is to engage yourself in some dynamic activities which are there. You can change them and then do other to avoid monotony and enjoy life. Because I used to even teach with my students here in Monsters Road, in that free villing center. They have stories. We have stories which we tell. Some are saying that, no, I'm not going to say my story because my story has some very bad memories or bad parts in it. What they learned from me, which I told them, is that those bad places, those bad pages of your story, put a rose flower there, or put a kind of flower in those pages. Draw a flower in it, and then you smile and cross over. You might not even say it. That's exactly what we are applying now with this strike action, with this corona that is coming again, and with holidays. In those patches where we think it can be challenging or it can bring us stress, we put some rose flowers there. What do I mean by this? It means that you find something very pleasing. It may be that particular day you have exhausted all your planning, all your plans. You just said today is our cookery day. You just announce it that day in the house. Today is our cookery day. Everybody, this is the menu. This is what you mix. This is, everybody becomes a cook that day. You might be the center of the chef, and then other people are watching, and each one of them. So it becomes fun and exciting. What of saying that you are going to bake your own cake? You are going to, let's see how it is going to come out. Some people will not follow the recipe very well. It may be their cake will fall, and they will learn something that during this time you don't have to open the oven early enough before the cake can fall. All those things is so exciting. And your own cake did not come out well. so you are going to eat just a pinch from mine. So all those things, we just create fun out of it and enjoy life. Life is on how you put a rose on the bad or challenging situation and enjoy. I think that's just the advice I can give to parents for now.
Thank you. Thank you. That was quite a good one because, and especially, we'll also be talking on some practical places. Doreen has already told us some practical places where parents can Google and get activities going on, especially during this holiday. I'll also say or talk about some of the activities we'll be having for kids. Actually, our house is full of activities from Monday to next Saturdays. So it's a lot that are going on, and especially in town. Not only in town, if you're staying in our district alone, I know of several things that are going to happen, like in that district, and generally in the commune as well. There's a lot. So I think there is a lot of help that parents can get. And also, as Doreen said, sometimes you need a holiday. You know, if the kids are on holiday, probably it's the right time also to take some holiday. So you just give them support. But as we go on, some practical example of challenges you guys have encountered both in Norway with the small kids and with the big kids, for Mado who has big kids, and maybe the solution, because as we are here, all of us anyway are immigrants. We are brought up in different culture, different environment with different expectations. You know, then you come to Norway, you see that the society is expecting a different thing. Kids are learning a lot of stuff, and that means like you're expected to do it differently, the way you didn't even. You are not taught that one. So, what are some of the practical challenges you guys have had, and how you have sorted them out? Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's it's obvious that Beatrice, there are so many challenges as a parent of young kids. One of it is coming from a background, as I already said, I come from Kenya, is actually the cultural differences of how I was raised and how I'm supposed to raise my kids. That's quite a big challenge, especially talking of language. I would want my kids to speak my mother tongue, so when I'm angry or when I want to express something, they can understand. But as you know, learning Norwegian is not the same like really being your mother tongue, you know. So that's actually one challenge. Communication, being understood. Yeah, I think it's one thing that I think can be a barrier to effective communications with kids. And so also talking a little bit about our cultural differences, we need to adapt to the environment where we are in as parents, and understand that we're in a different culture, and what's the expectations from our kids being parents, especially coming from a background where we are. I was surprised. I had a discussion with a friend, and I didn't really know the importance of the first graders, how important that bag, the first school bag, is to the small kids. Every kid, when they grow up or they're coming from Barnage, they expect their parents to buy for them that bag. That's kind of like a signature bag. But maybe for parents coming from background, that bag costs around 800 krona, and a parent coming will say, wow, 800, you convert it to your money from your country. You're like, wow, you can get a bag for 100 krona, or go to Fretex and pick an old bag. And the kids feels so kind of different, even in an environment where every kid is happy. Which color of this bag did you buy? And so these kind of small things, if you've not grown up in this culture to understand how important it is for a kid, they will grow up feeling different. They will grow up feeling they don't belong to this society. And these are some of the things that keep on bringing gaps. So it's very important, as much as we come from different backgrounds, that we take time to learn small cultural things that can bind these kids who have been born in this society, so that they can feel like they belong. You don't have to buy that expensive bag, but you can buy probably a replica, or just understanding that concept can help you to better know how, either if you're not in a position to buy that bag, you can explain to your kid, or start saving a little bit to make them feel that they belong to that. So that's actually a practical challenge. Another challenge for me or for us as a family is our family, our family ties. Growing up, I had close relationship with my cousins, with my relatives. When we, after schools would close, we would go and visit our relatives, our grandparents. And it's so challenging that my kids, they only get to talk to their cousins virtually via Zoom or something. So it's always a challenge. We were privileged at one point. My father-in-law came, and I remember my small girl was so happy. She would come from Banag every day, calling the grandfather in the local name. And it was such a good feeling. And when it was time for him to go, she cried. And I was like, wow, this was so sad. But just that aspect of not having close, neat, like family around us, it always will be a challenge. And we, of course, will try as much as possible to take them home once in a while just to connect. But it will still remain a practical challenge. And of course, another thing is the limited local networks. We have to accept that for some of us who come probably from African countries and backgrounds, we are very social people. I remember growing up, I would get into a public transport bus or something. By the time I'm alighting, I know the names of most of the people inside there. They will ask you, who is your dad? Who is your mom? So you realize you've known everybody. But here in Norway, it's a kind of a closed culture, and sometimes you have limited social connections, and that's quite a challenge. You might not have so many friends around, or probably the few networks that you have are not so extensive. They could be limited to people from your area or from your country. So that will always be a challenge, and that's why I always try to encourage, especially as immigrants, that the only way we can try to connect socially is to try to find activities that can link us to the locals in the country. Like I attended an online class, a Norwegian online class offered by, I think it's Holmlia Bibliotek, and there was a discussion about the tourist foreign. They have activities that link people to different activities. And I was so surprised to see that there's a group that does tour, like in, for example, in Montinsrud. They have actually so many activities in their websites that if you're interested, you can join groups of people that meet on certain times and they want to travel. And that's how you make friends, and that's how you expand your network socially. At work, of course, it's very natural to be aligned to people who are the same as you, who look like you. So when you see an African, you just want to talk to them. Yeah, sometimes it takes courage to just try to push the boundary and try to meet people. If you're religious, try to go to where other people have other activities, and then that in that way, probably you can cap that barrier of networks and just build friends for your kids in that way, of course, even for ourselves. And then just another point that I thought was another practical challenge is basically lack of enough time. As we mentioned, the topic is having all these so many roles. Sometimes you don't have enough time to build yourself or to do things extra. I know Beatrice can attest to us. In Kenya, people are most of the people are very focused. I remember my colleagues, we finished with them in campus. Now they have done so many professional courses, and sometimes when we talk, they're so surprised that, oh, you've been working, you've not done this, you've not done this. But I'm like, I don't even have time for after work. I'm thinking about cleaning kids, and most of them, they have probably help from house helps, and so they take evening classes. They take time to build themselves professionally. So we cannot compare compete in that same level. So time is always a factor, unless your kids grow up and then you're able to kind of have extra time for yourself and stuff like that. So that also is a practical challenge that you really are not able, even as a parent yourself, to be able to kind of do other things, meet people, do things that you love as an individual. So those are some of the barriers I find practically being a parent of young kids, and but I also look at them as opportunities. Like, for example, to do with the language, I try as much as possible to continue learning. Most of us, we learn Norwegian to pass exams, to just accomplish something. But just sitting down and learning the language and trying to understand the cultural environment where you are living. So every challenge is actually an opportunity to be better. Every challenge is always like a mirror. What can I do with where I am? What can I do with this situation that I am? So irrespective of all these challenges, I say still it's a blessing to be a parent. It's actually a gift to be a parent, that God has kind of given you the opportunity to raise human beings. And I always look at it that you have these people for a short time. So the opportunity that you have, as much as you're a parent, you're working from home, you have all these many other tasks, prioritize, enjoy the short time. Before you know, they are gone, and you may never have those moments again. So try to capitalize and make use of the time. That these are the things I remember. The things I remember most are the moments we had with my parents when I was young. I remember my dad would cook for us when my mom was away, and I would just remember how sweet that food tasted. Those small things that we do now is what will really have an impact for these kids when they are all grown ups. So it's a journey, it's challenges, but let's just speak it with grace and pray for God to help us as we parent in this season.
Thank you. Thank you. Mado, it's your turn.
Yeah, thank you very much, Beatrice. The challenging situation or for parents, someone like me staying in Europe and then my kids are in Africa, and it's very, very challenging because first, number one, I miss them. That's very obvious, which they miss me too. That is the challenge. But the big challenge is control, discipline. To discipline somebody, especially those who are teenagers from a distance, it will take only the grace of God. And I want to really say, even though it is very, very challenging, but I'm taking this opportunity to really thank the boys because they have been very, very cooperative or cooperating with me in terms of discipline. And I would say practically it has been taking lots of my energy. What do I mean by this? Because most of the times I'm always thinking that being as they are teenagers, it could have been better for me to relate what I'm trying to instruct them to do, and then to see if it is true, if it is being accomplished. So I take only what they are telling me. And me and them, I'll say, we will agree and say, should I take you for your words, or God is watching you? Then they'll say, God is watching me. So which means I'll say, like what I said, it took all my energy because I have to respond to them wherever I am. It may be a situation is coming up because I'm a single mom. they rely on me. They rely on me too much. And they trust in me, and they trust in my plans. They trust in whatever thing that I am doing, that it is correct. So which means I myself, I have to discipline myself in order to coin it with the boys, because now automatically they are watching me and they are role model and things like that. It means me myself, I'll say sometimes I'm not for myself, I'm for them in a way. Because why? I want them to copy something from me. So which means I have to keep certain things under the carpet or kill it off from my system. Again, I spoke when we were trying to do rehearsal. I spoke with the fact that every plans, whether it is for their own plan, whether it is the plan that involves me and them, it should come from me. Then imagine the tax. So which means they trust me, as I'll say again, and they know that whatever plan that I bring up, it is the best. Sometimes I also want to sit as a mom and enjoy. But then they are like a driving force for me to do everything. You know, like what Doreen said, they are a blessing. Just like a mom that is pregnant and is in the labor room, the mom is crying, but there is joy at the end when that baby cries. And that pain or those pains automatically, it will cease. It will be as if it's not you that you were really crying. So that is the blessing, especially with saying that you are training up or trying to bring up people that God has entrusted them into your keeping. Then you put in your own energy, you put in your own resources in order to fulfill God's plan or mankind, or to bring up the best in a society. So I think the challenges at the end, you smile because you see the end product, and the end product is always excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I know you've mentioned this thing of single mother, and it really caught my attention. But because of time, when you guys are rounding up, maybe there is a single mom somewhere who is giving up, especially in during this time. So, Mado, you'll handle that, and Doreen, for the parents who are feeling like it's so breaking. Mado, I know we meet people, and I know some of them have talked to you as someone who is working in our resource center. There are people with a lot of challenges, a lot of issues, away from home, no one to talk to, no one to share to. That is why I'm like, you mentioned some topic that a lot of people are sharing in the center that it's not easy to relate with, but you as a person who is in that shoes will be the only one who can talk about it. So as we round up, Doreen, any mother with the small kids who is giving up, please, some final words for them.
Yes, thank you, Beatrice. Just before I say a little bit about any advice I could give to mothers, I must say that these are very tough times and very uncertain times that we don't even know. We were actually talking about simple things like a bus strike, which we do not experience for a long time, can really mess up. I'm just imagining if you are living a place where basically you depended on buses, it can be, and you don't have probably a car, it can be quite a challenge. But even in the midst of these challenging moments, you have to really take care of yourself. Think about yourself first as a mother or a parent. You can't give what you don't have. You really have to sit down. When you feel tired, you can even tell the kids, sit and watch the television. Mama is sleeping now. Mama is taking a rest. Mom is taking a walk. Because if you don't take care of yourself and there are people looking up to you, You will be so stressed. You will be shouting. You will be screaming at these kids. But when you feel like you're breaking, just remind yourself you're not a super mom. You don't have to be a super mom. There is no award for being the best mom in the world. There's only a reward for being a mom, and you are doing a good job. Don't ever doubt yourself, especially for working women. Sometimes when we live in far away, you feel like, am I doing enough? Am I raising my kids in the best way? What if they turn wrong? There's so many things. But I remember listening to one speaker say that even if your mother never gave you the best, what she gave you was the best that she had. So what you're giving your kids is the best. Never ever beat yourself so hard that you have not given out the best. The meal that you're able to provide in a day is the best. It could not be a 5-star meal, but that's the best. You have to tell yourself, thank you that I'm a mother and what I'm doing is the best. Take care of yourself. It's simple things like sitting, even take longer in the shower. Just sit in that shower and just let the water run through. Don't rush yourself that I have to fix this, I have to take that time, take that lotion, apply it very well, relax, breathe in. That's how. Take a facial, treat yourself, because if you don't do good things to yourself, nobody else will do them for you. It's simple things like going to the simple shops and buying doing yourself a pedicure. Even like just take 10 minutes for yourself longer and just breathe through that. Take a book after kids have slept, read something positive, sit and watch a program that you like. Don't kill yourself for people. I've come to realize that sometimes we off ourselves and we get exhausted, and over time you don't have energy to handle anything else. Just love yourself, especially this time. As you take care of your family, as you take care of the kids and everybody around you, take some time to love yourself. Even if you're working from home, you don't have to be in a pajama the whole day. Take some time to love yourself. Even if you're working from home, you don't have to be in a pajama the whole day. Take time, treat yourself and sit in that seat. You will feel good. And at the end of it all, when we have overcome this situation, you will come out stronger. Mental sicknesses and mental health is a big issue, and it has to start with you loving yourself more and taking care of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mado, just rush it up. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. What I'll round up, especially this goes to a single parent. A single parent is that one that plays a double role for the father as well as for the mom. But then, even if you are not super, but then know that you are a superwoman or a superman to those kids, or it can be just one. Because why? Automatically, that one kid or two of them, they bombard you and they are expecting too much from you, which you have that grace. And what I've gathered in this program is be able to hold the bull by the horn and be courageous that you are able to do it. Because it is not by chance that position as a single parent was given to you. You might look at it as if it is like a kind of curse or no. Nothing happens to people by chance. It happens so that it is to strengthen you, it is to build you up, is to remove that good aspect in you that has been hidden, to put in the limelight. Look at it that way, and that's why you will not complain. That's why you will know that you are succeeding. It might look as if you are failing. You are not failing, you are succeeding. You need to turn back and then see the steps, the miles that you have crossed. Then you reach in that position that you are. And then the next one that crowns it all, love yourself for who you are, for what you have achieved. Because your achievement, it is you are competing with your own self. You are not competing with anybody. That is where you draw the line, and that is what is going to make you happy. And that's what is going to make you to have that trophy that you won or you have won. And success, it depends on the measure, on the purpose in which you were called or what you have been given to do, not with what some other person. That is where you are. You can draw your success or measure. You measure your success based on what has been given to you. Let's say if you are a single parent with your children, if one was in grade 1, now is going to grade 2, those are your successes, not another person's son or that is now in high school or whatever. No, it is your success lies on what you were given, and that's what you achieve. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys, and thank you for even pouring out from the bottom of your heart, and saying it the way it's coming. I know someone is encouraged somewhere. We normally get very good feedbacks, and I know this is one of the things that we are going to get, especially now in these difficult times. People are not very willing to say what is really burdening them, But thank you, guys, for sharing. To our viewers and listeners, we are telling you, check on our Mindfulness program, on the autumn program. We have a fully packed program from Monday to Saturday, but especially for the kids, we've planned something for them the whole week. For the seniors, for women, as you can see, there is a program tomorrow for you guys. Just come at 6. But now with Corona, it's actually full. But we'll see how to point or to bring the discussion out. Is the General Secretary of the Department of Psychological Health that is going to come and talk with us. So follow us for any details, and have a great end week, and a great weekend. Thank you, Doreen, for coming to share with us. Thank you, Magdalene, for being so, pouring out your heart for us. Till next time, have a good evening. Say bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah.